My abuela clinked her wine glass at Thanksgiving dinner and asked, Mija, how was the 6 months in South America I paid for? Did you finally master all our languages? My stomach dropped through the floor as 20 relatives turned to stare at me expectantly, waiting for stories from a trip I'd never taken. What trip? I asked, my voice barely audible over the sudden roaring in my ears. Abuela's radiant smile crumbled as she slowly set down her glass. The language immersion journey, querida, your graduation present that I funded. My hand started trembling as confusion gave way to a horrible suspicion. She pulled out her phone, scrolling through emails with increasing desperation. 6 months through Brazil, Argentina, Peru, Colombia, and Chile, living with local families who speak my exact dialects. She showed me confirmations I'd never seen before, correspondence with program coordinators, receipts for homestays and intensive classes specifically chosen to match the regional variations she'd grown up speaking. I even arranged indigenous language workshops with Quechua speakers from my mother's own village. My heart ached. Abuela, I never went anywhere. I've been here working double shifts at the warehouse all summer. The silence that followed was deafening, but it was my father's refusal to look up from his plate that told me everything. David, my abuela said, her voice dangerously quiet as she turned to my father. I gave you $80,000 in March along with the itinerary to arrange everything because you insisted you could handle the travel logistics better. My father kept eating his turkey, not even bothering to look up from his plate. She didn't need to go play around in third world countries trying to impress people with useless languages nobody speaks here, Mom. The casual cruelty of his words made my abuela flinch. This is America, not South America. English is the only language that actually matters for getting a real job. He shrugged. $80,000, I whispered, trying to picture what that much money even looked like. You had $80,000 of my money since March and never said a word? My voice grew stronger, angrier with each realization. I've been killing myself with double shifts, eating ramen for months, while you had my trip money this whole time. Where is my granddaughter's money? Abuela demanded. Dad finally looked up, his expression completely unbothered by the devastation around him. I made a smart investment in our family's image. My mother hadn't said a word all dinner, but now she set down her fork with a sharp clink. He bought a Tesla Model S, the red one with all the upgrades. It took up all of that trip money, and then some. The silence that followed felt like a physical weight crushing my chest. He shows it off at the country club every weekend, Mom continued, her voice hollow. Tells everyone how successful he is, how well he's doing. I sat there speechless. A luxury car, David? Are you kidding me? Abuela's voice shook with rage I'd never heard before. Every penny I saved from 40 years of translation work, using these languages you call worthless, you stole to pay for a useless hunk of metal? It's not stealing when I'm protecting her from wasting her time, Dad said, taking another bite of stuffing. What was she going to do? Become some underpaid translator like you? Teach Spanish to kindergartners? Those aren't real careers. That Tesla opens doors, makes connections with people who actually matter. It's already gotten me 3 new clients who saw me driving it. I was going to work for the UN, I screamed, slamming my hands on the table. The translation department already said they'd look at my application if I had immersion experience. But you knew that, didn't you? Tears poured down my face as years of manipulation clicked into place. You called the languages abuela taught me gibberish my whole life. You banned Spanish in the house. You threw away my Quechua practice books. And then you literally sold my future for a car. Abuela stood up slowly, her weathered hands gripping the edge of the table. The translation company I built with my worthless languages just sold for $40 million. Dad's fork froze halfway to his mouth. Your inheritance was going to be $10 million. She pulled out her phone and started typing with deliberate precision. My lawyer is changing everything right now. Every penny goes to her instead. You can't do that, Dad roared, finally dropping his unbothered act. I'm your son. That money is mine. Abuela didn't even look at him as she took my hand, and we walked toward the door. Abuela stopped at the threshold without turning around. Your daughter speaks them. I speak them. $40 million worth of clients speak them. You're the only one who doesn't, and that's why you'll never understand what you just lost.